showed up, and there were many beanbags. There were there. And you went, yo, Rollins, where's the beanbags? I went, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. And then another year went by. There weren't any beanbags. And you said, where's the beanbags? And I said, oh, they didn't come? Oh. I know, because I told the truck, the semi, with the beanbags to come. And they didn't? Are you sure? This year, is there a beanbag in the house? No. God damn, you got tricked again. I knew you only came for the beanbags. But anyway, so at the end of this, your buns will be a little flatter, and a little harder, and a little colder. And piles. And you'll have piles? So please, get as comfortable as you can. Next year, I'm going to have some beanbags for you. I've got this problem. I got a lot of problems. One of my problems is I can't say no. All the time someone says, hey, you want to do a show in this city on this side of the country, this and another show the next night on this side of the country? And I just go, yes! And everything rational, everyone around me is going like, are you a moron? What are you going to do? Just run 3,000 miles on the next show? No, I can do it! Yes! Yes! I'll do it! I just like doing stuff. So anyway, lately I've just been, people offer me to do this crazy shit. Like the Urban Dance Squad said, you want to fly all the way from Trenton out to LA and shoot a video for 3 hours and be in our video and then fly back to band practice? And anyone with common sense would have gone like, no. Yes! Yes! So I do this back and forth hustle. I go everywhere without sleep. It lets you understand where Hunter S. Thompson gets off when he sees reptiles coming out of carpets in hotels, man. Without sleep, you can really see, you know what I mean. You go the night without sleep, and then the next day, you have to function with a pack of professionals, nothing worse than them. And are you fit to do something? Yeah, sure. The guy's got snakes coming out of his mouth and stuff, and the third eye burns at you. I'm just stripping out on the dragon coming out of the back of your neck. Anyway, I have this notebook I've been writing in for years. I just get these little notebooks, and whenever I'm in an airport or a train station or a bus station, I write in it, and it's usually on the no sleep thing. So I was going to read you a few excerpts from this, see what you think. Open wide! Your eyes! You idiot, your eyes! Me and the cab driver both slept all the way to the airport. The damage is done. It's almost 8 a.m. I slept 3 hours. Now, could you sleep if you had played nothing but John Coltrane and the Beastie Boys all night? Is that a combination that's awesome or not? I think it is. Right now, Thin Lizzy is in my headphones. Phil Lynott is my Guardo Camino. He wrote songs about doing gigs, rocking, loneliness, fighting, and women, and how much it hurts when they leave. On to Las Vegas. Now in Las Vegas, waiting to leave. Looks like it's going to be a sellout flight. I wonder who's playing. Great. All the comedians. Everyone on this flight knows each other, and they're all talking to each other about how much they lost at Las Vegas. I equate gambling with being an asshole. If you don't have a life, then go to Las Vegas, you dick. I still have a quota left. Ha ha. Sounds like you did better than me. Ha ho. You can smell the denture grip. I'm looking out the window. He's out there somewhere. Wayne Newton. I wonder if he's up about how much food she ate. The flight attendant announced that all 3 attendants' names are Carol. Much laughter and a smattering of applause. And let's advance to many more airports of no sleep. Oh, this is great. I'm in Berkeley, Oakland, getting my hair cut. Girls, you're so lucky to be girls, because you don't have to go to barbershops and listen to men bond inside barbershops. Hilarious. It's like the most Lincoln Log experience. Like, I'm a guy, you're a guy, we're getting our hair cut, huh? You a little shaggy, I'm a little shaggy. Right on, man. Nobody slap your buttock there. All right. And it's to meet these people from hell. And they have, the thing that always gives me grief is a lot of these places, airports, barbershops, have a shoe shine place where you will sit up on a high stool and put your foot down. Can I use your head for a second? And like some guy would be on his knees, his face kind of near your crotch, working on your shoes like you are royalty. And it's just a bad looking image. This man looking down, reading his paper, while some guy is like going off on their shoes, whipping out the little brushes and getting all the little corners all polished and everything. It just looks like a real put down. And these guys who are getting their shoes polished they always feel like they have to make some kind of conversation to make up for the guilt trip inherent in having some guy on his knees functioning for you in a public place. So here's a little conversation I heard. So the guy's getting his hair, he's getting his shoe shine, and he says to the shoe shine guy, "Hey, here's a joke for you. What did the bra say to the hat?" And the shoe shine guy's like, he looked over at me like, "Help me." And the guy goes, "You go on ahead. I'll pick up these two." And everyone in the barbershop just kind of went, "Do you want to get your haircut that bad? How about we all just leave? We'll just lock this guy in, you know?" And the shoe shine guy, he was just amazing. He said, quote, "Yes, sir, comedy." It was yeah. 21191. Past asleep. I think I'm Vanilla Ice. What? How low we sunk. You want how low? Yeah. That guy's amazing. You don't like me to take it to the bank. Let me go to your bank. 10:11 a.m. Flew all night, no sleep. In 2 hours, I'm supposed to go into the studio to do a demo. Also, the girl of my dreams dumped me. So, I'm a guy with a dented, exhausted rock and roll heart. I don't remember the flights. Something in the movie with the Belushi that should have died. Mr. Destiny, some shit about a fat guy who wants to have a different life so he can fuck Vanilla Ice. I wonder if I'll be able to sing the songs okay on no sleep. Big deal. I bet Vanilla does it all the time. Because I know for a fact that he goes on and on until the break of dawn. 2:20:91. So I'm sitting in my seat in a 1/3 full flight to LAX from Chicago. Out of nowhere, a woman falls on me. Her breath was flammable with booze. Maybe she was on Absolute. She seemed to have some kind of brain damage. She started grabbing me. She said, "How much money do you have?" And I said, "Well, probably on me right now, $40,000. Why?" "Well, I want to know how much money we got between us so I know how much we can drink." And then she says, "Can I smoke on this flight?" I said, "Only on the wing." And she nodded. "I understand." She said, "Are you going all the way to Los Angeles?" I said, no, I'm jumping out right over Denver. I'm going to go visit some friends." She goes, "Oh, I'm going all the way to Los Angeles." She goes, "What do you do? You're handsome." I said, "I'm a maniac." "What do you do?" She goes, "I'm a certified waitress and roustabout." And then she started kissing my neck. And I went, hey, I didn't think you got all this in Coach. You know? And then she lifts up her shirt and exposed herself to me. I was like, wow, can you go on the wing and have a cigarette or something? And then she gets up. She was amazing. She got up out of the seat. She'd already dumped all of her sweaters in my lap and said, hold these. I have to go to the bathroom. She stood in the aisle and grabbed her crotch like Madonna. I just went, where's the bathroom? Where? I said, that door over there. So she staggered into the bathroom. I moved one row up. I figured I could fool her. I put her sweaters down, and I'm like hiding. And then she comes out and she sits down next to me again, one seat up. She goes, hi, I'm back. I'm like, I see. And I'm desperately looking for the flight attendant. Help me. Maniac next to me. Big, deep breath. Help me. So finally the stewardess lady came over and said, ma'am, are you with this gentleman? And she grabs me and goes, yes, I'm with you, aren't I? And like, she was kind of brain damaged and she was so nice, but so drunk and fucked up. I went, I didn't want to go, no, she's not with me, throw her off now. And I didn't want to go, oh yes, 3.5 hours with you, my darling. So I just kind of went, I'm a ticket holder, help. And they kind of escorted her away and she immediately jumped on some other guy, so I was off the hook. But anyway, think of this. All the things you wanted to say at the time, like when you had the moment to really say something and you didn't, out of good taste, out of common sense, out of good judgment, like, going up to the Hells Angels guys, and the first thing you want to do is, like, when they all go into the bar and all the bikes are all lined up, you just want to kick the first one and watch them all fall down for the fuck of it, and have them all come out and go like, I'd rather see you die than see anyone ride an American bike, so fuck you. And what the hell? Of course you'd get killed, so you wouldn't do that. When you go by, you go like, but because you have brains, or you see somebody you really like to tell them what you think, and then you go, wait a minute, I'm not going to lower myself to that. You don't want to say, hey, you're a dick, even if you really feel it and really mean it, because you don't need to do that. Well, don't worry, I do it for you. Now, years ago, I told you all a story about how I saw Bono on the streets of LA with this cowboy hat on, and how I actually wanted to incinerate him on contact, but I wimped out. And you all got really pissed at me and went like, boo, sell out, and I know I sold you out. I could have had the hat. We could have done a record called Bono's Hat. I could have toured on the hat. If I had had the hat now, I'd be here, Michelle Pfeiffer would be here. And it would be great. But I blew it. And I promised all of you that I would make it up to you somehow. That I would climb back up to the high echelon of your respect.
Where's the hat?
Well, I don't have that hat, but I'm trying to tell you I've been doing some bullshit on the side to try and get up to where I can face Bono one of these days and get that hat and bring it to Trenton and show you something. But anyway, bring the hat back to Mecca, man. Trent thinks the world takes fucking love. Anyway, I have a problem with my mouth. I open it too much, and I say a lot of stuff that comes out of me, and man, I swear to, I wish I could sometimes grab some of it back. Like you say this, I'm like, oh shit! You already heard that. Oh well. Asshole of the year, thank you, Someone's got to do it. I figured I'll, Anyway, a few months ago I got invited to go to this party. It was a Chrysalis Records party. And it was for this band called Was Not Was, and they're having their 10-year anniversary. And it was, you knew it was going to be a bunch of people schmoozing and boozing and, getting that free Chrysalis booze and hanging out. And immediately I said, no, I don't want to do this. And then I thought, what the fuck, you know, free food, you know, was going to be playing. I might see something interesting. I might learn something. I may be able to go in and work on my art terrorism technique, get ready for Bono in '93, you know, who knows? Why should I limit myself? I got this you are invited thing. So what the hell, I went. And they put, since I'm a recording guy, they put me in the recording guy floor, where you're supposed to be spared by the industry people. And in California, the industry people are just terrifying. Balding gentlemen with ponytails and these blazers with big shoulder pads and silk suits that are very comfortable and big Rolex watches and those silly bolo ties. It's the Don Henley look. And I always wanted to ask these guys who look like Johnny Unitas with these shoulder pads, like, fellas, what do you need the shoulder pads for? You know, well, you know, when I'm in my BMW, I got these pads on, all right. You know, I don't know, I guess it's fashion. What do you, whatever, you see how fashionable I am. Look, new shoes, Sears and Roebuck, Tendy. Every 18 months I go in to buy a new pair, it takes 2 minutes. Are you sure you wouldn't like to see some other shoes? No. Do you want to keep these other ones? No. Are you sure I can't help you with it? No. See you in 18 months. I'm gone. Anyway, so I go to the VIP room, and of course it's all industry people. And I have to meet all these people whose names I immediately forget. And I'm trying to be nice, because these people are a little freaked out by meeting me. Like, hi, this is the president of Chrysalis. Oh, hi, how you doing? The guy's like, right, get this guy out of here. You know, they didn't want to meet me too much. So I'm trying to be nice and smiling. How you doing? I can rip your face off, but I won't do anything now. Yeah, how you doing? And I'm a little uptight and a little uncomfortable, and they're giving me all this coffee, so I'm getting more and more like, and they make me stand in line with all these rock stars, and we have to get interviewed by MTV. And the woman who interviews you, she doesn't know you. She has a clipboard. She asks you 5 questions, and then they move you out of frame, and they move some other rock star guy in. So I'm standing behind Elton John, you know, getting ready to go do my thing. And all of a sudden I'm in front of this, you know, stun gun. I'm like, where are you, lady? You know, she's and all of a sudden the MTV mic is thrust in my face. And I go, okay, this is it. And the woman says, so what was the first was not was single you ever heard? I'm like, I've never heard any. I'm like, well, the one that was on the radio a while ago on KROQ. The great one. And then I immediately launched off into my, you know, psychotic caffeine jam. Are you glad to be at the Was Not Was party tonight? Oh, I think it's going to be great. The movers, shakers, the growing up. We got MTV, ATV, NBC. It's a really multicultural, multi-racial, multi-event. I'm really glad to be here. Would you like to go out and like chop some people's arms off? And one gun went off, I was out of there. See ya. Anyway, I'm getting more and more disgusted as we go. And I get to see Was Not Was play with all these different people. And I'm standing against the wall looking at all these people I recognize. Oh, there's that lumpy-faced dude from the Eagles. I remember him, the crazy one, yeah. There's Paul Abdul, short. There's that girl from the Bangles. Not so hot. You know, I'm just like dissing left and right. I can't help myself. And like, then from out of nowhere, you see this little maniac running through the crowd like this. Just like scared little psychotic guy. It was Iggy. I was like, now there's something happening in this place. Because you're like me. He's a hero, you know. He took you through many, many hard times. And he looks totally alienated from this whole scene. I'm going, my man, look at this. He's just like, and people are coming up like, wow, Iggy Pop, how are you? You're a mover, you're a girl. I love the thing you do with Guns N' Roses. I think you've got a great product. He's going to run up the charts, right down the charts, and right out the door. Hey, look, I can't wait to see your album come out. And he's just kind of like, he's really just like freaked out. He's like, how you doing, Jim? He's like, he's just like freaked out. I'm like, wow, that guy's really cool. Anyway, by the end of the evening, I'm on like 10 cups of coffee, and I'm just like, kill everyone! And I'm hanging out with all these women who work at Chrysalis. And at the time, a lot of the more top echelon people in their organization were women, which I thought was really right on, and they're really great people. And so we're hanging out, talking all kinds of shit. And I'm getting ruder. and ruder as it goes on. And this is where the talking part comes in. Because, first off, I got all the chrysalis babes there, and I go, look, let's have some fun. You see all these, because now all the guys are now, to the gills on Billy Idol's booze. And so everyone's just drunk and leering at each other, and the ponytails are coming loose, and the bolo ties are lowering, and the snakeskin cowboy boots are starting to fall apart, and everything's kind of coming undone. And everyone's starting to go, hey, let me smooth you. And so I go, look, every time a guy looks at you, just scream at the top of your lungs, stop staring at my dick. And so they all dispatched into the crowd, and from here, certain parts of this VIP room, you hear this, stop staring at my dick! And you see, like, some guy trying to be incredibly laid back as he gets the fuck out of there. It's like, but it's everything in him is going, run, run, run! Rejection at this time of my life is not cool, man. My chakras are freaking out. It was amazing. And so then we all huddled back together, and I said, watch this. And I don't get into hating people, I don't need to hate people. Doesn't do much for me. There's a few people, though, that you really do want to see, like, dropped off buildings. Like Edie Brickell. Kill. Destroy. God, she offends me to the core. I see that. What I am is bang. It's over. Edie, you're done. God, bury it. God. You can make a performance art piece out of it called Edie Brickell Still Lives. You can get together in some, like, Soho art space, where everyone's, like, really intense. I have 30 piercings in my penis. I'm really intense. Do you want to see my mood etchings in my flat? I'm really intense. Remember that. I'm wearing Doc Martens and I'm not a skinhead. I'm just intense. I'm trying to get my grant, but I'm too intense. You could get a place like that, and you could be standing on stage with all kinds of, like, sharp objects all around the stage, pieces, big mounds of broken glass, pieces of wrecked metal, and someone could just say, Edie Brickell still lives. And what you do for the art performance is throw yourself all over the stage until you are hacked and mutilated, and you're just like, die, 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 and just, like, destroy metal with your bare bones until you're broken, bleeding pulp. That's how bad you want to die, 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 but it's art. So no one dies except you. That's all. It's expression. We're expressing ourselves. And then you're a bloody pulp, and then over the monitor again. Edie Brickell still lives. And somehow you get up and do it all again, and then you die. End of performance, I got your $8. Fine. Okay, forget that. But anyway, on the hate list, who comes walking along? But the woman, god damn, she's another offensive one. The MTV babe, downtown Julie Brown. God, you just want to spank her. Shut your mouth! So she's with, like, these two hunky boy toy guys, like the ones who chase Madonna around. Those kind of, like, loungy, droopy-eyed sex guys, like, hey, I'm so hot, I'm just melting. And I just kind of stop her so she can't move past it. Like, Julie, you suck. And she's like, I probably shouldn't have done it. You don't need to walk up to a stranger, you suck. I mean, what does that make me? An ass. But hey, senior butt man, I can live with that.
Where's her hat?
I'm on my way back to the hat, okay? I'm trying to get back up so I can... Give me a break. Beanbags and the hat next year, okay? Until then, just fucking tying a knot. Look. So, she really bummed. She just kind of sitting there like, someone is this shit down my throat. And the two boy toy guys kind of go like, how do, as men, how do we deal with this? And I'm like, yeah, I did that. Crazy, huh? And they're going like, woo, and got me out of there. And all of a sudden I had one rational thought. Wait a minute. I could be really offending someone. I could be really blowing it. Maybe I should just get the fuck out of here. And I looked at the Chrysalis people expecting them to be going like, would you just get out of here? And they're all like, that was great! That was great! Okay, look, there's Paul Abdul. Now go get her. I'm like, no! So then I did leave. Because her bodyguards were big, and she's probably a very nice girl. But anyway, it got written up in the local paper the week after, and I felt so good. Because it said, in big italics, down Julie Brown, then Rollins, and then you fuck. And so now it's like legend, Yeah, that'll get me a free drink somewhere. Free glass of water in Trenton. But anyway, I am not a political person. A, I'm ignorant to a lot of politics, and B, I would never endeavor to tell you what you think, who you are, or what you're about. I mean, it's not my place, that's your place, that's your business. But mostly, I'm ignorant to politics. I don't read the paper, I'm too busy, writing my own, But a few months ago, I got a telephone call from this agency of bait, a man named Jack Thompson. You know who Jack Thompson is? I'm like, no. And some of you might not know either. That's fine. Jack Thompson is the guy who got the band Two Live Crew in so much trouble. He just took this shitty rap band and got them, well, he made him millions of dollars, so it can't be that bad. But he just basically got a lot of people in jail, and all because he's a terrifying Christian zealot who's going to stamp out abuse of women by taking a rap record off the shelf. That'll clear it up. Women, you can walk the streets safe now. Jack has taken that naughty, naughty record off the shelves. No one will ever try and invade you again. And you can thank Jack. So anyway, the guy on the phone says, hey, look, he's doing a tour across the country. He's debating different people. We thought it might be interesting to get the two of you together, because you're, someone who's been censored. They've attempted to censor you before. You're kind of outspoken. It might be fun. You could mix it up. And I'm going, so what? I'm going to go out on a stage and argue with this guy? And they go, well, debate, discuss. I go, no, argue, right? And he goes, well, yeah. I go, well, I don't want to go argue with people. Imagine this. Imagine doing a tour across the country every night and breaking up with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Wouldn't that be great? Like, every night, 8 p.m. Fuck you! Fuck you! Yeah, see you tomorrow. Okay, right on. You were good tonight, right? Yeah. I'll be ready for you tomorrow. I mean, like, horrible. I don't want to go argue with anyone. And they said, look, man, it's a real chance for you to really, push this guy around, really say what you feel about, someone who could be coming to censor your record next year. And I went, okay, what the hell, I'll do it. Maybe I'll learn something. So I went out and got every bit of piece of paper on Jack Thompson I could find. And I find out he's a Southern Florida lawyer who heard this record and said, wait a minute, this is nasty. I gotta get rid of this. And he took it upon himself to rid the nation of this terrible, terrible evil. And he's not a dumb man, he's very smart. He's a lawyer. I mean, he's crafty. And he comes from Ohio, an upper middle white class part of Ohio, never been to many ghettos. He was born again, hell, terror. So anyway, I have to go out and buy the Two Live Crew record so I can know what I'm talking about when I say, hey man, But that was the hardest part of the whole 2 nights of that guy, was trying to get through that horrible record. I mean, I'm listening to him going, God, this is one of the shittiest records I've ever heard in my life. These guys have no talent. They're not even funny. There's no bass in this record. It doesn't make me want to rip my room apart. Horrible drum samples. The only thing they had going for them, they sampled a little Van Halen, which I thought was great. But I already have that Van Halen record. I'd rather play it. Anyway, so I go, man, see, that's how I censor records. I just don't buy them. But I do think you have a right to make your record. I mean, I get a chance to make my records. You get a chance to make your records, those of you who record. Why, and Poison, they get to make their record. Warrant gets to insult you every year, God. Don Henley Sting, they they let him out of his cage once a year? If he can go do it, what's the matter with Luther Campbell going out and airing out his dick for 80 minutes? A lot worse things, could happen to you than Luther Campbell and his record. So, make a long story short, me and this guy meet up in New York at NYU, and the place is packed because it's like $2 to get in or something. And no one really likes Jack Thompson all that much because he's the guy who's trying to pull records off the shelves and trying to get people in trouble and close doors to turn off lights, and tell you what you can listen to. So he's not a very popular person on campus. So I made sure I got the left podium. So they said, on the left, Henry Rollins. On the right, Jack Thompson. So people kind of hated his ass from jump. And so anyway, we had to make a 12-minute speech, kind of like, the first round. You go out and say what you're about. And Jack comes off with something. I thought he was going to be a lot more graceful than he was. He was incredibly see-through, and you could just tell that he's just a chicken-ass white boy who thinks he's right, and he's got no balls. And like a lot of men, remember what Sinead O'Connor said in the new Rolling Stone, men have no balls? Damn, I love that girl. That's great. Anyway, so he's going on and on. Well, I think this is obscene, and 1.7 million records were bought by people under 8 years old. And I think you can directly see the rise in rape in this country due to this record. It's going, like, even a moron would be going like, get this guy out of here. So anyway, my tact, not being a political person or a overtly intelligent person, I'm more street oriented. I go, well, here's how I see it. You're condemning Luther Campbell, uneducated black man in this country, the most shit-on minority and sex in this country. White, black, male, barely literate. It just gets the constant slap in the face in this country. You know how it is, man. Go 3 blocks down the street from this club. You want to live in a house like that? The fuck you do. But there are people who live in those houses for decades. They grow up as little babies, and they end up as withered old people, and they never leave that neighborhood. When you drive through that neighborhood, you say, get the fuck out of here, this is hell. Other people call it home. Terrifying. So anyway, I said, well, with Luther, you got a guy who can barely read. He manages, with what this country's given him, 1/8 the opportunity that you were given, Mr. Thompson, that I was given. Fuck, I got an education. I can read upside down, backwards, left and right. And so he sings, he makes a record, makes a few $1 million, buys up a few discos in town. The guy's a Mac Daddy. He's rolling. He's got millions in the bank. He's got a multi-platinum record, singing about the only thing he knows, his dick. So you let this guy, who turns out to be kind of a genius, you should put him on the cover of Forbes. He took this much of what we get, and he makes millions. And the only thing you can do is put his records out of print. I think you're just jealous. I think you want to get laid by the girls who are fucking him. I think you're frustrated. And you never attack the real problem, which is education. If you gave Luther Campbell a chance, like you all got, he wouldn't be bothered to make such a shitty-ass record. He'd make something really righteous, But instead, all you can do is smack the guy on the head. I mean, I said, you're copping out. You're swatting mosquitoes with a sledgehammer. And he's a lawyer. He's not stupid. He's not like, oh, well, I'll think about that. He's like, I agree with you. I agree with you, Henry. I agree on everything you say. I think we have common ground. That's his big thing. We have common ground. Like, you can walk up to him, I hate your guts. You are from hell. I agree with you. I am from hell. We have common ground. And then he starts to dick dance, and he just talks and talks and talks, and after a while you're like, oh, thanks, Mr. Thompson. I agree with you. So anyway, you can pull that shit off on a lot of people, but you cannot pull it off on a bunch of NYU students. I'm 30. I honestly forget what it's like to be 18. I forgot how smart 18-year-olds are. They tore his ass up. It was brilliant. They line him up for questions, and I'm thinking of questions to ask him, and all I can come up with is, what, who, What right do you have to tell me what I can listen to? And like, if anyone who asks him that, he just tears him apart, because he gets asked that every night. This one guy asked him, have you ever seen a porno movie, Mr. Thompson? And he goes, no, I haven't, son, and if I did, I would never admit it. Everyone's like, fuck you, boo, you whip, you know. Then another Einstein gets up and says, Mr. Thompson, everything you say is based on fear, guilt, and denial. Can you rise above that once tonight? And he's like, I agree with you. We had common ground. And everyone knew the guy was just bogus. And then he really blew it. And guys, take a tip from this. He goes, well, I do good things. I defend women in rape cases free of charge. Now, on the outside, that sounds pretty good. A woman gets raped. She might not be able to afford an attorney. And so this guy goes, I'll defend you for free. And as any of you have ever dealt with a lawyer, it's expensive. And it's a bad experience. Any kind of court scene, half of you have been locked up for, God, probably assault in this town. But anyway, it made me think, oh, he's trying to, you know, and I said, Mr. Thompson, you know, just because something is free doesn't necessarily mean that it's any good. For instance, if I came up to you with a stack of my next door neighbor's pit bull's shit and said, here, I want you to have this. Oh, how much? No, it's free. Have it. What is it, dog shit? Hey, but it's free. Take it, free. Dog shit, pure dog shit, free. And you'd be like, I don't want a bag of shit, but it's free. Just because something is free doesn't mean it's any good. Just because you get free legal advice doesn't mean it's good advice. The guy giving it to you is a maniac. He wants to, you know, throw a Bible up your ass. Or, you know, who knows? So anyway, he said, I defend women in rape cases for free because, and this is the big fox pass he made, he said, because I know what it's like to be a woman on her back getting raped. There was about half a second of dead silence. That was everyone inhaling. Like, half a second later, spit, you know, saliva, epithets, you know, our papers got blown off our podiums. People just go like, die, 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 die. There's this one pack of girls right over there, you know, in this part of the theater. They were amazing. They're all standing up just going like, God, you are so full of shit, you know? And this one girl goes into the place, finally quiets down. And this girl goes, Mr. Thompson, what is it like? What's it like to have a man on top of me? You know? And if you check out the statistics in this country, the statistics presently are, every half an hour, a rape is reported to the police. Somewhere in this country. On average of every half an hour. Statistically speaking, with our present population, that puts 1 in every 3 women getting raped in their lifetime in America. That means that statistically someone in this room might be raped, might have already been raped, and there's a slight chance that someone in here will rape a woman or has already raped a woman. This is really terrifying. I've never been raped. Almost. One guy in Greece nearly fucked me. I did manage to wiggle out of it. He did grab my dick a little though. It felt pretty good, but I just wasn't ready at the time. But anyway, to be raped, I don't know what that's like. Now, most of you probably know someone who has been raped. This is 1991 and people are shitting on each other with an incredible increase. The last thing you want to say to a girl who's been raped is, I know how you feel. Because you're just trying to, you know, I know, you're just trying to be a good guy, a good person, trying to be there for someone, you know, hey, I know how it feels to be upset, I know how it feels to be raped. You don't know how it feels. And if you say that to someone, you might have to go to the hospital to get the girl's fist out of your throat. And don't ever make that mistake, fellas. Don't ever tell a girl that you know how it is to be raped. because unless you've done time in county and you've had a few guys searching for your prostate gland. Anyway, so we end that night of debating, and Jack leaves the hall pretty quickly because in New York people are pretty aggro, and I'm sure someone wanted to like light him on fire or something. But anyway, the next night we do it up at UNH, University of New Hampshire, and the students there are like pretty dull. Mr. Thompson, who are you to decide what I should listen to? Hack, mangle, mutilate, you know, you had the whole place going on. Oh, thanks, Mr. Thompson. It was really great hearing from you. Why'd you bring the asshole with you? I'm like, hey, right. So anyway, the fun part started when he left at UNH. See, whenever you do a gig at a college, your agent sends you 5 pictures of your fat face. It goes in the press bio. And so at the end of the night, you go up to the college official and they ask you, would you please sign these pictures of your fat face for our student body? You go, okay, and you sign, you know. Anyway, I was down at the student radio station and I was pretending to be Jack on the radio, and people were calling up like, hey, Mr. Thompson, I mean, why do you want to take these records off the shelves and stuff? And I'm just like, because I hate you. Because I think all you little bastards suck, and I want to twist and pervert your minds, that's why. And they're, Mr. You know, yeah, Thompson, you suck. Hey, fuck you, kid. How's that going off? Playing records backwards, listen to the backward basking. And I'm like spinning them really fast, like, great old time. So anyway, the girl who put on the gig, she whips out the pictures of my fat face and she goes, would you sign these so we can put one up in the Student Transcendental Activity Union Board Society room place? And I go, oh yeah, sure, you know, I sign them. And she goes, she whips out Jack's stack of fat face photos, and she goes, oh, Mr. Thompson left before I could get him to sign his photos. I guess I'll have to send them back to his agent and have the agent give them to Jack, and then he'll have to send them back to me. I go, no, my dear, don't bother with all that. I'll sign them for you. She goes, well, that would be forgery. I'm like, don't sign them. You know, try to write in script, you know, like real people do. And, you know, eat dick. Jack. 666. Kill pigs. Eat dick. Bitch. Jack. 666 upside down cross. Great. Greatest time. The students looked at it. They immediately ran down the hall. They were shaking them up, you know. Good time. I've never heard from them again. Never. I don't think I'll be back at the University of New Hampshire for a long time.
What's Jack doing now?
What is Jack doing now? Probably making money off white people in fear. What else can he do? I got this opportunity to do this thing. I want to read it to you. It's pretty funny. A while ago, I got a phone call when I'm home, and this guy calls from the small film company. He goes, hey, Henry, have you ever heard of an actor named Bud Cort? I go, I don't know the name. And he goes, well, have you ever seen Harold and Maude? And I go, yeah, sure. I grew up seeing that movie. I've seen it like 8 times. Yeah, it's a beautiful movie. And he goes, well, Bud Cort was Harold. I go, oh man, that guy's a great actor. You know, I've seen him in movies here and there. He's really great. And he goes, well, Bud's a big fan of your writing. I'm like, wow, that's cool. He goes, Bud has written a movie script based on a true story that happened in Venice about a guy who becomes obsessed with a woman, and he writes her poetry to try and win her over. And eventually the guy kind of went nuts and had to be physically restrained because he assaulted her. But what he wants to do is do a movie about a guy who's a little nutty, who writes this woman beautiful poetry to try and win her away from her big hunky boyfriend. And this, you know, the guy in the movie is going to be this spindly, weird-looking guy, which turns out to be Bud. So, but he's going to win her over, even though he looks like a kook. He's going to win her over with his strength of poetry. And with this one scene, he's at a poetry reading contest, and he's reading this poem to this woman who's there, and he wins this award. And it's like this horrid sex poem. And he goes, do you think you could write it? And I went, no, because I can't. Poetry? No. He goes, well look, how about this? What the hell? We'll send you a script. We've got some poetry in there. If you could kind of paraphrase it, do something like it, what the hell? You know, it'll be good enough. And Bud really wants to work with you. And I said, yeah, sure, I'll try it out. So I get this script and I read the script. It's really cool. And I read scene 21. The poetry reading scene is some of the most horrible crap I've ever read. Like, lance me with your white, hot love truncheon. You know, I'm like, God damn, man. You want to talk about beat poetry? That's some beat poetry. So I said, fuck, I can do better than that, probably. So I put myself into character, and I wrote this thing, and I sent it to him, and so I'll read it to you. And this is, you know, the guy Ted at the poetry reading. This is, I had to get in character for it, because I'm, you know, this isn't... Right, anyway. I want a woman who will take me to the edge of existence. Together we will become the definition of fire. 10 forests, 10 deserts, 10 jungles on fire. We will burn endlessly. In my sweat-drenched moments of clarity, she cries out to me, "Ride me! Ride my storm-swept heart!" Well, don't embarrass me, man. They didn't accept it. They said, that was not, you know, they try to be really cool. No, that was great! That was great! Probably one of the best things we've ever read in our entire lives, but it won't do. Can you make it a little bit more dark? Maybe something Frank Booth might say. I went, Frank Booth. Like, Blue Velvet Frank Booth. Like, hey fucker! Hey fucker! Next! Get him out of the car! Like that. And he's like, yeah. I go, okay. So I wrote one like that, kind of. And so, here it is. I want a woman who will pull me from extinction into a room of dangerous light. A woman who can cauterize wounds with her touch. I will taste her every pore. I'm not afraid. A wild-eyed temptation from the street. She will grab me by the collarbone and scream, "Break and enter me like a thief! Ride me! Ride my raging storm-swept heart!" They gave me a couple $100. Quickly referencing back to Jack Thompson. I don't want to blow smoke up your ass or anything, but you realize how dangerous it is to have people in power do the thinking for you. And you realize it happens all the time, in your face, behind your back, below your feet, while you sleep. It happens all the time. Don't ever take shit from these people. Girls, you're the strong. There's the two sexes, one stronger than the other. You're the strong one. Don't ever take shit from a man, all right? Please. Pull us all up with you, but don't lower yourself to taking shit from a man, because it's not worth your time. Have you ever wanted to do something for someone, like wanted to, quote, help, like your version of help, like if you wanted to help someone and all of a sudden you find out that you're not helping that person at all, and you're reacting mostly out of selfishness and egotism. I'll help you so I can be your hero. You don't want to help them so you can just help them. You want something in return. A lot of help is given with thoughts of what you're getting back down the line. And this has happened for so long that if you go up to someone and go, "Can I help you with that?" They get freaked out. No, I can handle it myself. You know, because they're thinking, well, what is this person going to want from me? You know, if you give someone something, they might wonder what you're going to want in return. And if you go like, "I don't want anything in return. Here, have this 10-pound bag of dog shit. You can have it." They go, "What do you want in return?" "Nothing." They'll look at you like you're crazy. In my line of work, I'm in front of a lot of strangers in, several countries every year for the last decade of my life. And I meet a lot of people, man. You and I have written each other before, a lot of you I've talked to. We hang out. It's great. A lot of times someone will pay money to come through the door. Say, "Hey, Henry, how you doing, man? Hey, how you doing? Fine." 20 minutes later, they're throwing a full bottle of beer at your head. It fucks with you. It makes you paranoid. Do they like me? Well, if they like me, why did that guy try to light my balls on fire with a big lighter? You think I'm joking. It didn't happen once, it happened twice. 2 different cities. Must have been like calling head. Ed, you got a Zippo? Go down and see Rollins, man. When he's over there doing that, I hate daddy, I hate daddy. Just fucking light him up. You know, unbelievable things have been done to me by people I thought liked me. So it makes me crazy at times. Like, you know, someone comes up, hi, how you doing? Hey, man, get away from me, you know. But my instinct is to, like, be cool. Hey, man, how you doing? Hey, glad to see you. You know, that's the way I am. And I'm always, you know, the first one to open my goddamn mouth and the first one to do something without thinking. And, like, helping someone out. I see someone in need, I'm like, I'll help you. And, like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Oh, here, I'll help you. You just broke my thing. Oh, I'm sorry, I was trying to help. Well, bye. You know, just because I'm a spaz, you know? But you often realize that some people don't want your goddamn help, and some people are better off left alone. Case in point, a few months ago I'm in Australia, in Sydney, with the Rollins band. They were watching the opening band play, and they're rocking out, and there's like, you know, 1,200 people there, you know, killing each other. Great. And, you know, round and around. You know, hey, nice night. And so anyway, I'm standing on the outside of it, just kind of watching it, getting ready to play. I got my sweatpants on and all. And I see this short fellow, and when I say short, I mean he's not as tall as Julius Irving, okay? I don't know what short is. I'm 5'10 and a half. Does that matter? Prince is 5'4". Who gives a fuck? Some guys, if they're not like 9 feet tall, they got a problem with it. And you've seen these short guys with attitudes, like guys who walk around like, you look at me? These little pit bull guys, they're fucking maniacs. And I know you all know what I mean. You've seen it in their eyes. These guys who walk around, they're just like, yeah, you know, they're ready. So anyway, I see this guy walking by me, short guy. He's doing the classic Dick Van Dyke drunk walk. Amazing. He's just like, and like, this short guy, he's bouncing, he's bumping into people who are standing stock still, like, what are you doing then? You know, doing all, and he comes up to me and goes, Henry Rollins? Yeah! Dumps his drink all over me. I'm like, thanks. Rum and Coke. I need that all over me. God, I was so thirsty, I wish you could have poured a little higher, but I'll just suck it out of the cloth of my pants. He looks at me, looks at his glass, drunk with an empty glass. Oh, better go fill that. Scissor walks over to the bar, gets a drink, goes into the crowd, disappears. A few minutes later, our boy comes backing out of the crowd, backwards, on his tiptoes, in a perfectly straight line. How can he do that? I'll tell you how he can do that. There is a huge man holding him by the lapels of his leather jacket, walking him out of the crowd. I'm like, uh-oh, little drunk man is gonna get his ass kicked. I'll save you, little man. You know, I don't want to see the guy get his ass kicked. He probably just, you know, got in this big guy's face. It's not even fair. I mean, the guy is really big. He's like bouncer size. And I'm like, oh man, no. I'm gonna go over there and just go like, wait a minute, you guys. Shake and be friends. But then I think to myself, wait a minute. I don't know what's going on here. These guys could be boyfriends. He could be walking his lover across the room to pin him against the wall and go, maybe they could be performance artists. Maybe they're going to roll around on the floor and everyone's going to give them $10. Truth is, I don't know. Truth is, it's none of my business, so I should just stay out of it lest I get punched out. That's a great way to get your ass kicked. Try and break up a fight. What are you trying to do? Spoon? Ow, I'm trying to be a good guy. So anyway, and I'm watching it, and the little guy's gonna get his ass kicked. And I throw all good sense to the wind, and I run in, and I put my arm around the little guy, and I make up a name for him. Hello, Jim. He's crazy when he drinks like 9 quarts of rum. Come on, you little wild man, let's go. And the big guy's like, hey, your friend grabbed my girlfriend's ass. I'm like, you little nut, you, come on. Don't worry about him, I'll take care of him. Please don't kill him, okay? And he's like, yeah, you take your friend. I'm like, yeah, no problem, peace. You know, Lenny Kravitz, okay, see ya. And I get him away. And I just go like, hey, do yourself a favor, do this. Go to the bar, get a drink, sit the fuck down, shut up, watch the show, get home in one piece in a cab, okay? Don't go to him, he will kill you. The little drunk guy shoves me really hard, puts up his scoops. Fuck you! Come on! I'm like, huh? I've never backed away from a fight in my life. Come on, let's go, you cunt! Wait a minute. I just saved your ass from getting kicked. I never backed down from a fight in my life. I look at his face. He's got all these divots all over his face where he's gotten pounded. I said, you know, maybe you should walk away from more fights. It might be better for your face. He really wants to fight me. And I went, you know what?